Today it's a Thursday, it's the 27th of July 2023. We have been to work, been to holiday club. The Benz even had a fault light, but despite all of those, we still hit the road at about 4 p.m. after we dropped all our kitties off and started our trip of our North Coast 500. We left our campsite in Yorkshire after 8 a.m. and it was raining quite badly, but we were just not worried, and then whatever weather we have, we're just going to embrace it all. And we were really lucky because later on the sun came out, and by the time we got to Scotland it was actually really nice weather. After settled in, we then drove to Fort William for some dinner as a treat before our big climb the next day. Today we are going to climb Ben Nevis. We have been waiting for this day for so long and we are so excited about it. We started our climb just after 8 a.m. and the weather was actually pretty nice. As we were close to the summit, the weather changed. It was really cold, windy, and it was raining. And it was not easy for Harry to cope. But we were not going to turn around. However hard it was, we still managed to make it to the top. We were very proud of Harry and we were so happy that we did it as a family. On the way down, the weather was horrendous, but I see it as a part of the experience. Today our goal is to get to our campsite in Dornoch, and on the way there we're making a few stops. The first random stop we made was at somewhere called Falls of Foyers. It was a little waterfall place. This one was not that impressive, but it was definitely nice to know that we have so many similar choices that we can stop and enjoy on our trip. Then we made a stop at the side of Loch Ness. We didn't find Nessie, but we had fun. After Loch Ness, we parked by the side of the cathedral in Inverness and had a wander in the city. After a short lunch break in Inverness, we headed to a waterfall place in Black Isle called Fairy Glen. These logs by the waterfall, there were loads of coins stuck in it. We don't know why, but we put one in as well. Oh God, where's your home? Go home. Go.
How he's got out? How do you think he's got out?
I don't know. Oh.
Yes, he can get in there though. Can't go in.
Come on.
Ah, yes.
Bye.
Yeah.
Apart from getting stuck behind a cow, the drive to our campsite was pretty nice. Our accommodation for today is a campsite in Wick. Before we started our trip, we went to the beach again near our campsite in Dornoch, and the sea is very different to last night. It was much more aggressive, but I got my beach shoes on, so I went for it. After the beach, we had a little walk in Dornoch. It is a very lovely little village. We then went to Big Benz for a walk. This was mentioned in our North Coast 500 book. It was a very lovely walk. There were 2 waterfalls. After Big Benz, we headed back south for a bit to get to Falls of Burn, and we saw some leaping salmons. It was amazing. The last stop we made before we make to the campsite was somewhere called Borong Beach. It was super cold, so we only stopped for less than 5 minutes. The views on our last bit of drive to our campsite were absolutely stunning. We really enjoyed our drive. And by the time we get to our campsite, the sun was out. We even managed to take some chairs out. This morning, after getting some supplies from Lidl, our first stop was at Castle Sinclair Gurnigal. This ruin of castle was partly protected, but we could still get to some part of it, and we actually got quite close to the sea.
指数を合わせてほしいのねえサムタイ夜明けまでを目走って潮騒に包まれたいね彼女の仕草が
After the castle, we went to Stacks of Duncansby. It was very sheepy and it stank because the ground was covered in sheep poo. I loved how close we could get to the sheep though, and Harry was definitely excited about the sheep poo. Then we went to John O'Groat's signpost. We had to take a picture here to match our photo from Land's End last year. The gift shops here were complete rip-off, but we still bought a couple of souvenirs. By the shore was a win. We really enjoyed it. We even saw some fins of dolphins from the sea. The last stop we made before we get to our accommodation tonight was Dunnet Head. It was really worth going. The sun really just made everything so much better and prettier. Finally, we are heading to our accommodation for tonight, which is a lighthouse. There is only one way into the lighthouse, and it's not open to public. Harry was super excited about the lighthouse, and to be honest, I was as well. This is the best accommodation we have on this trip, and I am taking this opportunity and try to do a lot of washing as much as possible. We had a walk outside of the lighthouse It was just so stunning. I wish I'm actually living here. We left our lighthouse in the morning and continued our journey. On the way out, we saw some Highland cows, so we stopped and I tried to walk closer to them. Before we head to our destination today, we went to Strathsea Beach. At this point, we could feel that the weather is starting to change, so we were really trying to make the most of it. A short stop at Far Beach. On this journey, there are really so many beaches where you can stop and have a look. After Far Beach, we had about 1 hour of windy, misty and quite dangerous road. It was not very easy to drive on these roads. I dread to think what it's like in the winter. Finally, we made it to Smoo Caves safely. We had fish and chips in Smoo Caves Hotel. You have to pay to have the complete tour of Smoo Cave, and the earliest we could book was 4:20. So after put our name down, we went for a walk. So there are 3 known chambers in Smoo Cave. One is underwater. They believe there is this fourth one, so they are trying to dig towards it. They thought it was going to take about 6 years, but right now it has been 16 years and they are still not there yet, so they are still working on it. In the summer, they open the cave to get tourists, and in the winter, they keep digging. And finally, we arrived in our campsite tonight, Sango Sands. We are right next to the sea. The weather was not great today, super cold, but I was just enjoying myself sitting in the van, in the dry, in the warm, eating some junk food and watching brave people surfing in the sea. The reality about road trip is that you get some good days, but you also get some bad days. And today was, safely to say, one of the bad ones. All of us had a really bad night's sleep last night. We woke up, it was super windy, it was raining. It's just not a good day for traveling, really. But being on the road, you just have to learn to adapt. On this journey, we have seen so many people doing the North Coast 500 in so many different ways. People are doing it in camper vans like us. People are also doing it in tents, motorbikes, even bicycles. All of us knew that we might not have sunny weather all the way, but we still chose to do it. I think that's the beautiful thing about living, is knowing the risks, but still go for it. The only real stop we made today was at a waterfall. It was quite hard to walk to it, and Harry fell into the mud. But the hard walk kind of made seeing the waterfall more meaningful. We made it to our campsite fairly early today. With the weather being really bad, us feeling really tired, we just pretty much stayed inside the van for the rest of the day. But the campsite is really lovely though. It's kind of a campsite with a soul. I have never seen a toilet like this in the campsite, and in the community area You got lots of decorations, lots of things you can just use as you need, which was really lovely. We woke up in the morning and the rain has stopped. We thought today was going to be a good day. We found this brunch place in Loch Inver and had breakfast there.
Did the dream come true, honey?
Very much so, yeah.
And yes, it's already day 9 and we have only just found somewhere to have a full English. We also finally found a gift shop to buy a t-shirt for our friend. Then things starts to go really downhill when we arrived in this place called Knocken Crag. All I can say is that the walk is very dangerous and we definitely do not recommend anyone to try to take any children up there. Also, midges were everywhere. I covered myself with the insect spray, but for some reason I still felt really itchy. We didn't finish the walk. I watched some video from YouTube later on, and it is very dangerous but very interesting. Recovered from the negativity from the crag, we went to Corrich Shallow Gorge. This is the deepest gorge in Scotland. You can't have more than 6 people on this bridge at once, and look how high it is. My legs were shaking. After the gorge, we had a walk in Lyle Forest Garden, which we found just by the road. There were so many different tree species to see on this walk. was nice to see some civilization and the good old 4G. Finally, we made it to our final campsite on this trip, Adme. Again, it's a lovely campsite with a stunning view, but it was definitely less windy than Sango Sands. And tomorrow, when we wake up, we will start our huge drive to head home.
像云端